Hello, this is the luckiest maths teacher in the world. Thank you so much for tuning into this video in which we will look at solving worded problems using equations. So when we have a big worded problem like this, we're not given the equation to solve. We need to follow these steps. First step is to define a variable. That means you let x, or whichever letter you like, equal the thing you're trying to find. Then secondly, you need to form the equation. You need to rewrite all of these words here using only mathematical symbols. And then thirdly, you can solve as normal. So always follow these three steps. So let's look at this question here. So Finn works at a sunglasses store. For each 4-hour shift, he's paid $80 plus $4 for each pair of sunglasses he sells. And we want to know how many pairs of sunglasses he sells in order to earn $156. So a lot of people, they always struggle. Where do I start with this? You always start by letting x, so write it out, let x equal the thing you're trying to find. We want to find how many pairs of sunglasses, so that's exactly what we let x equal. We let x equal the number of pairs of sunglasses. So that's step one done. Now what we're going to do is rewrite this information using only mathematical symbols. Of course, not all the information is relevant. Doesn't matter that the guy's name is Finn or that he works at a sunglasses store. Doesn't even matter that he's selling sunglasses. All we care about is the money. All we care about is that he earned $80 plus $4 for each of something that he did. And we ended up with $156. That's what we're going to write in the equation. So he gets $80 for the 4-hour shift plus $4 for each pair of sunglasses. That's what he's paid. $80 plus $4 per pair of sunglasses. And we're told that today that equals 156. These two steps are the hard parts in worded problems. Once you've got to this step, we solve it exactly like we've solved every other linear equation. We're going to undo what's been done to x in the opposite order to BIDMAS. So don't let the order that this is written fool you. We multiply x by 4 first before we add 80. We always do multiplication first in BIDMAS. So because the add 80, this is a positive 80, because the add 80 was the last thing that we did, it's the first thing we undo. We're going to first subtract 80 from both sides of the equation. What you do to one side of the equation, you must do to the other. So we're left with 4x equals 156 minus 80. Now we undo timesing by 4 by dividing by 4. So x is 76 divided by 4, which is 19. So just have a think, what did we actually find here? We found that x was 19, but x was the number of pairs of sunglasses. So that means he sold 19 pairs of sunglasses. So Finn would be paid 19 times 4. He'd be paid $76 from the sunglass sales, plus the $80 per shift gives him $156 in total. All right, let's look now at a harder question in which we have to find two quantities. So let's have a look at this question here. A school has 800 students, 128 more boys than girls. How many boys, how many girls attend the school? So this question is asking us to find two quantities. How many boys attend the school is one quantity. How many girls attend the school is another quantity. So when you're finding two quantities, we're going to follow the same process. We're going to define a variable, form an equation, and then solve. But this first step just becomes a bit trickier. So when you have more than one quantity, let x be the smaller quantity. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let x be the number of girls. It actually wouldn't matter if you let x be the number of boys, but just to give you a hard and fast rule, just always let x be the smaller quantity when you need to find more than one quantity. So now what we have to do is we have to define a variable for the number of boys. We don't want to use a second letter. We don't know how to solve equations that have two letters, two pronumerals, two variables. We don't know it. What we need to do is write the number of boys using an x in terms of x. So if x is the number of girls, what would be the number of boys in terms of x? Well, the number of boys is the number of girls plus 128. It's 128 more than x, 128 more than the number of girls. So see, we've defined both quantities using the same pronumeral, the same variable. We don't want to use different letters because we don't know how to solve those equations. So that's step one done. Step one's a bit trickier, but after that, we're going to follow the exact same process we did on the previous slide. So now let's write an equation. So we know the number of girls plus the number of boys is equal to 800. That's what was told to us in the question. So we're going to simplify this equation a bit. We have two x's. X plus x is 2x. So we've got 2x plus 128. I can't add x and 128, not like terms. 2x plus 128 equals 800. Now this looks familiar, like so many others that we have solved. So what I'm going to do first is subtract 128 from both sides. So 800 minus 128 gives 672. And then I'm going to divide by 2. So I get 336. So what does this number mean? X is 336. Well, we let x be the number of girls. So that means at this school, there are 336 girls. But the question asked us how many girls. We haven't actually answered the question until we have also said how many boys attend the school. So if 336 girls attend the school, the number of boys is 336 plus 128, which gives 464. So at this school, 336 girls, 464 boys. All right, let's look at one more worded problem example. So this question here is just a bit harder because you have to get your head around what's being asked. So I am 16 years older than my brother. Last year I was triple his age. How old is each of us now? So once again, we're finding two quantities. How old I am, how old my brother is. So when we're finding two quantities, you just let x be one of the quantities. So I'm just going to let x be my brother's age. So then if my brother is x and I'm 16 years older, then x plus 16 equals my age. So now writing the equation here is a bit difficult. We have to write last year I was triple his age as an equation. So if my age is currently x, what was it 1 year ago? Well, your age 1 year ago is just whatever your age is now minus 1. So my age 1 year ago was x plus 15. My brother's age 1 year ago is just x minus 1. So last year, my age was triple, 3 times, my brother's age. My brother's age a year ago was x minus 1. So now that I've got the equation, let's solve as normal. We have a pronumeral on both sides, so our first step needs to be expanding the brackets if there are any. So here there are brackets. I go 3 times x, and you'll have to remember to times the 3 by the other number as well. So now when I have an equation with pronumerals on both sides, I subtract the one with the lowest coefficient. This one has a coefficient of 1, so I'm going to subtract x from both sides. So x minus x, they cancel out. I'm left with 15 equals 3x minus x is 2x. And now I can just solve like normal. I can add 3 to both sides and then divide by 2. So I get x equals 9. So what does that mean? Well, that is my brother's age currently. So that means my brother is 9 and I am 9 plus 16, which is 25. So make sure that your final line actually answers the question. We're asked how old each of us now is, so we have to write how old my brother is and how old I am. Alright, thank you so much for tuning into this video. This has been the luckiest maths teacher in the world. Have a great day.